Ang ibang sellers ng Monstera napaka-overpricing naman po. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So today will be a very simple video about this plant. Recently I've read some issues about Monstera deliciosa and other philodendrons, or let's say Monstera family that's been overpriced here in the Philippines. One question here is, tanong ko lang po, bakit po ba napakamahal ng Monstera deliciosa dito sa Pilipinas? May nabili kasi ang auntie ko sa US for only $35. And the second one is, ang ibang sellers ng Monstera napaka-overpricing naman po. Okay, so let's start with the plant itself. I understand some sellers why Monstera is very expensive here in the Philippines, because you don't usually find Monstera sellers here in the Philippines, and there's still no mass production here in the Philippines for Monstera deliciosa. In the US and in Canada or in any other states or in any other countries, Monstera deliciosa is being mass produced in a specific greenhouse, which is what we lack here in the Philippines. We don't have mass production of Monstera deliciosa, Pink Princess philodendron, and other expensive plants that can be found outside, and you know what plant collectors want to have. For this 35 US dollars, it is around 1,950 pesos if you convert it, and that's only a 6-inch pot. Usually when you buy plants in the US, what I've seen in YouTube from Plantarina, from other YouTubers, their plants are usually clumped together. Usually you can find around five plants in a 6-inch pot, or 4 plants in a 4-inch pot. It's just like that. I know it's kind of a bummer here in the Philippines, where you buy a Monstera deliciosa, it's just a leaf or a cutting. And yeah, I admit that it's quite expensive when I first thought about it, but when I got into this hobby more, I understand why it's very expensive here in the Philippines for this kind of plant. Because first of all, it's very hard to grow Monstera deliciosa. It doesn't grow very fast unlike other plants. Second, it takes years for them to bear fruit. So if you wanna propagate your Monstera deliciosa through seedlings, it will take years for you, probably around 5 to 10 years for you to have your Monstera to, you know, produce some seeds. And that's not 100% guarantee that your seeds or the seeds of the Monstera deliciosa would be fertilized by, you know, those insects and other stuff. So yes, it's really expensive here in the Philippines when you buy Monstera deliciosa. But this one though, this kind of Monstera, this is not the Monstera deliciosa. This one is the Monstera borsigiana, which is the smaller version of Monstera deliciosa. Monstera deliciosa is so-called the large Monstera, but this one is the smaller version of Monstera. This does not grow as big or as large as the Monstera deliciosa, and this one grows more of a vining type. So you need to have support for this kind of, you know, for this borsigiana. The nodes of the Monstera deliciosa is different than the Monstera borsigiana. Let me show you an example. Yes, this is a cutting I've taken up from my Monstera borsigiana mother plant. I just recently propagated my Monstera borsigiana also, and I'll be selling them for about 200 to 500. So let me show you. The in-between nodes of Monstera borsigiana is longer than the Monstera deliciosa. If you can see, you can probably see this. It's very obvious though, where the leaf and then the node and then the next leaf right here, which is this one, it has a pretty much large gap between the leaf. Unlike the Monstera deliciosa, the Monstera deliciosa is more compact and more stumpy. So yeah, that's the. Let me just. I don't want to break the roots. Alright, so yeah, that's the issue that I've been reading or I just read recently in social media, where people really are arguing why Monstera deliciosa is expensive here in the Philippines. Well, to think that Monstera deliciosa is more common in Manila compared in Cebu. I remember when I went to Manila, seeing the Monstera in Ayala, near Market, that Ayala. Yes, I was really shocked when I saw the Monstera deliciosa inside the mall, just being planted in a planter. You don't usually see it here in Cebu because Monstera deliciosa is not yet that common here in Cebu. So yeah, and also I would love to, you know, live in Manila as well sometimes, because they have, like, you guys have more plant nurseries, plant shops, and like, you know, I've seen like Instagram stories of people from Manila buying plants, and I really like it. I wish we had those here in Cebu. Anyways, going back to the issue. So there you have it. That's the explanation why Monstera deliciosa is expensive here. And also you have to think about if the plant is endemic here or not, because Monstera deliciosa is not endemic here in the Philippines. For an example of an endemic plant here in the Philippines is the Epipremnum pinnatum, which is fairly cheap if you buy it. Some are overpricing it. Yes, I agree with that. Some are really overpricing the pinnatum, and some are confusing pinnatum with Monstera. While Monstera deliciosa is endemic in Mexico, um, Monstera deliciosa, also known as the Swiss cheese plant, is a species of flowering plant native and to tropical forests of southern Mexico, south of Panama. So yes, it's endemic in Mexico, and it's very common also in Thailand. In fact, I've heard a lot of, you know, stories from people where they consider Monstera deliciosa as a weed, and they want to remove it from their yard because it's taking over their yard. And yeah, so that's the reason why it's cheaper than it's cheaper in the other places than here in the Philippines. What was that? I hope more people would understand why Monstera deliciosa is quite the price here. Just wait for 10 to 20 years, 10 to 15 years. Monstera deliciosa would be very common here in the Philippines, and it would cost around 100 pesos for what? A leaf? Or 50 pesos? So yeah. So that's the short video for today. I really hope that I cleared things up for you guys. If ever you have plans to buy Monstera deliciosa and think that it's too expensive, but well, sometimes they can overprice, and you have to take care. You have to be careful when you buy plants, because some sellers also takes advantage of the plant. So before you buy a plant, ask a friend or someone you know who has plants if the plants are worth it or worth for the price. So yeah, I really hope that you learned something from this video, and I enjoy making this video, clearing things up. And yeah, if you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe and like this video if you like this video. And for notifications, click the notification bell if you want to receive notifications when I upload a video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye. Before I forget, I've started propagating my Monstera borsigiana today, so probably in a month or so, a month or like between 1 month to 1 to 3 months, I'd be selling them for for a very cheaper price. So for those of you who want, DM me in Peter Planter if you wanna reserve one. I'm not selling them for a very expensive price because I know some of you want a Monstera. So yeah, that's it. Bye.